everyone, this is meteorologist Ryan Weekman joining us for our Saturday night, typically Sunday night, but this one is a severe weather hangout trying to get you all the information that you need to know for the potential for some strong or severe storms on the way forward tomorrow. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen my tweet within the last 20 minutes. I've been going over the latest information, and I do think that the severe weather potential for tomorrow warrants it to be issued one of the highest severe weather threats that we've seen all year long for us. For those of you that have seen my Sunday night weather hangouts, this is something I do every week, and I told you if we were going to see any strong storms or the potential for severe weather, we would do these Sunday night weather hangouts. So thanks very much for joining me. If you're watching live, you still have the opportunity in Google Plus to ask me a few questions on here. If you're watching after the fact, well, hopefully we do get your question answered for you with the potential for some of those strong storms on the way for tomorrow. We're a little bit blurry here. The Google Plus made some changes to our equipment back here in the Storm Track Weather Center. So hopefully by tomorrow when we do the original Sunday night weather hangout, things will be a little bit smoother. But maybe on the screen it's coming up for me a little bit blurry. So hopefully it's a little bit clearer for all of you at home. Of course, we had our first round this weekend of severe weather today. This afternoon, especially across Henry County, Defiance County, and down towards Paulding and Putnam County, where we had multiple reports of hail over the size of golf balls, and that's probably some of the more significant severe weather that we've seen all year long here as far as warm, convective type of weather, not talking about the winter. But it's been a very quiet year, and it looks like things could be active on the way for tomorrow. Here's the very basics before I get into everything else, and I will get into detail, and I will try to answer a bunch of questions I know a lot of people have had. So let me get into this. The timing. Things could spark off as early as 1 to 2 in the afternoon for tomorrow. That would probably be on the faster side of the envelope. Most likely the sweet spot to see storms moving through the area is somewhere between 3 and 4 p.m. entering our western county. So that would be the Bryan, Hillsdale, Defiance, down towards Paulding and Van Wert area. That's where it'll first start, at least to our viewing area. It's going to develop to the west, and then it will come across the entire viewing area. And I think this will be the potential pretty widespread. We're not saying, southeast Michigan, just northwest Ohio, just our far southern or our far eastern viewing areas. It looks like the vast majority of the entire viewing area, so that's from the Indiana-Ohio border all the way over through Sandusky, and as far north as Monroe and Adrian, Michigan, all the way down to Lima, stands a pretty fair chance and an equal chance to see some strong to severe storms for tomorrow. So today, it was kind of west of I-75 where we saw the severe weather. Tomorrow, it could be across the entire viewing area. The timing, 3 to 4 in the afternoon. Again, I mentioned that's our western counties. Looks like it'll come across at a pretty good clip, somewhere 40 to 50 miles per hour. And then, as it moves on through, exiting the area somewhere around 6 to 8 p.m. So it'll take about 2 hours to get through the entire viewing area, maybe 3 if some storms develop ahead of time. So keep that in mind. And this is one of those times where if you have the Storm Track Weather app, you can really see those storms coming and watching out for them. What are we talking about as far as the threats go? All right, strong straight line winds with many of our severe weather events. That is a pretty big issue for us, and I think that will be the main threat for tomorrow as well. With the fast-moving cold front, a lot of times those storms can become what we call outflow-driven. Basically, the rain-cooled air surges out in front of these storms and creates a wall of wind. That's certainly a potential for tomorrow in each individual storm, and I think that's probably the highest bet. Some of those stronger winds higher up in the atmosphere near the jet stream will get driven down by the weight of the rain because it's going to be raining so heavy in some of those storms. They'll be driven down to the ground, and then they'll spread out, and that's where we get the widespread straight-line wind damage. And that does look like it is a pretty good possibility in the strongest portion of each of those storms. I'll give you a look at the future radar, our hour-by-hour forecast here in just a minute. I'm going to switch the screen around, but I want to get to the meat of the information for you. Then we'll let it breathe a little bit. I'll give you a little bit more detail about what we're talking about. So strong straight-line winds looks like it's going to be the #1 threat for tomorrow. Today we had hail, I mentioned, quarter to golf ball size. When I say quarter, I mean like the coin that you have in your pocket. Quarter to golf ball size hail was reported in Napoleon. Down in Paulding County, just outside of the viewing area, we actually had 2.5-inch diameter hail. So somewhere in the neighborhood, 2.5-inch hail. That's very big. I think the potential will still be there tomorrow to see some of that hail as well for us. And a term, or something we don't like to say a lot, but we'll say it when we need to. If the storms develop right along a warm front that'll be pushing into the area, there is the potential for us to see some isolated tornadoes as well. So that's something you got to be aware of. Again, this looks like, as far as we've gone through May, April, June, we're almost through July. And out of all of the days that we've seen so far, I would have to say, looking ahead, again, we're trying to predict the future here, not an exact science, but we're trying. This one, out of all the days so far, I would say, has the highest potential that we've seen so far to see widespread severe weather across the area for tomorrow. For the exact reason of, I said, it looks like it'll affect most of the area, and the timing is early to mid-afternoon through the late dinner hours. So somewhere 1 to 2 through 7 to 8 p.m. for tomorrow. And I know there's a lot of things going on. I can't possibly list what storm is going to hit what community at the exact moment because you have a picnic or there's other outings. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. This is one of those days you're going to have to keep your ears tuned to the weather radio. If you have the Storm Track weather app, that's great. We have our text alerts that you guys can sign up for. There's all sorts of different tools. And, of course, if you follow me on Twitter, if you look right down here, hopefully you can read that. It's just my name, Ryan_Weekman. That's all you have to type into Twitter. You can find me on there, and whenever it's possible, I will be live tweeting what the latest information is when there's storms in the viewing area. Of course, when I can possibly do that. Okay. Hopefully you got the information right there. That's the heart of it. If I didn't get to an exact question you guys were looking for, those of you that are watching on Google+, I see a couple of you, Tanya and Shane, I see you there. You've asked a question. Do it in the comment section. I believe you can do that below. And I can see those questions on the side, and I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can here, of course, and get to what it looks like for the severe weather potential for tomorrow. So here's what I'm going to do. If you've never watched our Sunday night weather hangout, I'm going to flip the screen around, and I'm going to show you what I've been looking at here in the Storm Track Weather Center that makes me think that the severe weather potential is pretty high for tomorrow. So let's get right to this. And again, I'm going to take you right into my computer screen and what we're looking at for tomorrow. When we look at the hour-by-hour forecast, this is the actual computer model that we're seeing right here. Okay, this is at, let me double check what time this is. Okay, this is about 6:30 in the morning for tomorrow. You notice a lot of the showers have moved out of the area. Here's what we're watching tonight. This is what's going on right now. Sorry to flip screens around, but this is what I actually wanted to show you first. This is what's going on. Here's Indianapolis, line of showers and thunderstorms moving right along the Ohio River. Not quite as severe as what was earlier anticipated. It just didn't quite organize in the way that was expected. But nevertheless, this line of thunderstorms is going to play a big role in our forecast, I believe, especially as we go through tomorrow. Here's some more thunderstorms. There's the thunderstorms that went through the western counties earlier for today. But here's what's going to happen as we go over the next 24 hours. This line of thunderstorms that we're seeing moving to the south of the viewing area is going to really stabilize the atmosphere as we go overnight for tonight. What that means is, especially into the morning hours for tomorrow, there's going to be general sinking motion in the atmosphere. Now, it's nothing that you're going to notice or you're going to feel, but basically what that means is the atmosphere is going to have a chance to clear up, especially tomorrow morning, and that means that things could heat up for us. And when that happens with the atmosphere that we're looking at for tomorrow, that means the atmosphere can get unstable and the atmosphere can get more primed for severe weather. And it looks like that could be the scenario that we're looking at for tomorrow, because those thunderstorms to the south of us will push that rain-cooled air out, and because of other effects that they'll have in the atmosphere, it'll generally keep other thunderstorms from developing this evening and overnight. At least that's what we're thinking. And that could open the door for more widespread severe weather for tomorrow. So again, right there, that's the line of storms that we're talking about. I'll give you a wider perspective on what we're looking at across the nation. And see this spin in the atmosphere right up there near Minnesota, right up near International Falls? That's the system that's going to be diving south for tomorrow and giving us the very likely potential for severe weather for us, okay? So here's the thinking by the National Weather Service. This is a Storm Prediction Center. Anywhere you see in yellow, this is a national map, so the mid-Atlantic states over towards the southern Great Lakes is at a slight risk for severe weather. We've seen a lot of that this year. And here's the moderate risk for severe weather. That basically means that's a higher likelihood area to see severe weather. I wouldn't be surprised at all if when they give their update overnight tonight, they do it about 1:30 in the morning or so when their scientists down in Norman, Oklahoma have a chance to analyze the atmosphere as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that threat area shoved a little bit further to the west and the higher chances for severe weather moved back, nudging if not into parts of northwest Ohio. I just think this looks like a setup. The best setup that we've seen so far. I use the term best very loosely here. It looks like our strongest potential to see pretty widespread severe weather for tomorrow. Doesn't mean everybody's going to see it, but I think there's a pretty good chance that most of northwest Ohio or southeast Michigan, within a community or two of you, will very likely see some strong to severe thunderstorms. Okay, this is what I really want to show you guys. So if you're watching, I want you to pay attention here, okay? I'm going to show you our hour-by-hour forecast. I'm going to try and go right through this and show you what I'm thinking is going to happen over the next 24 hours for you, okay? So here's the Storm Prediction Center right there. I'm actually going to go back. This is going back in time, okay? This is roughly what things look like right now according to the model. You see how there's strong storms to the south down towards Indianapolis? Well, watch how it clears everything out as it moves off to the east. This is as we're getting into the morning hours for tomorrow. This is at 6:30, so this is the image that we were just starting at a few moments ago. Look how clear that the atmosphere is. This is going to give us the opportunity starting early tomorrow morning to get lots of sunshine. And look, even as I go through the morning hours, we're still looking at lots of sunshine. Things are warming up in the low to mid 80s, and that's going to be the key for our potential for severe weather. If things can continue to warm up into the mid 80s for tomorrow, that really is going to prime things for us as far as really juicing up the atmosphere to see any severe weather. Okay, so we got that all set. Here, look back towards Chicago. We're starting to see a broken line of thunderstorms developing. This is at roughly 4 p.m. for tomorrow. Excuse me, this is actually at 2 p.m. for tomorrow. This is back towards Chicago. I think the timing on this model is a little bit slow. I think they'll start developing a little bit earlier than that, but watch how they develop into a broken line of thunderstorms. This is by mid to late afternoon, and watch how that line comes through the area for us there. And again, anywhere that you see the purples, the reds, the yellows, that's very likely a pretty severe to significant storm as far as strong to severe storm. Strong wind gusts, the hail, and even the isolated tornado potential looks like it very well could be there, especially in southeast Michigan if everything lines up just right. Of course, we're going to be watching the entire viewing area closely, but that's what it looks like right now as far as the timing. 1 to 2 p.m. through the early afternoon hours. Again, I see we have some more viewers that have just logged in for us here. If you're watching through Google Plus right now, you can ask a question in the comment section and it will show up in my window over here. So I'm going to start getting to some of these questions. If you have a question, write it down underneath and it should pop up pretty quick for me to see this because we're going to start wrapping things up in about 5 to 6 minutes, I think. And then your opportunity is going to be a little bit lost, okay? So I'm going to start getting to these questions. If you have one, go ahead and write it right now for us. Shane was the first one on here, and Shane says, good bet there will be sunshine tomorrow morning. And Shane, based on what I was just mentioning, yeah, it does look like there is the strong potential for us to see some sunshine tomorrow morning, even into the early afternoon hours. That's how things would really start going for us there. Okay, done with that question. Tanya asked, and I'll get to this one. I didn't read ahead, so you'll have to forgive me here. When did we last have a calm summer like this? You think summer's going out with a bang storm-wise? Tanya, not necessarily. 2009 was a very, very weak, a severe weather season. In fact, we didn't see hardly any severe weather in 2009 summer. It just happens to be a byproduct of the cooler summer that we've been having here for us there. Brandon asked, biggest threat as far as hail, wind, and tornadoes. I think I kind of went over that as far as I think wind's number one. There will be hail, and there will be, very likely, there will be the mention of the word tornado for tomorrow's forecast. I know that's a taboo word, and you don't like throwing it out there very much. I personally don't unless it looks like the potential is there, and it very well could be in the cards for tomorrow. Let's hope it's more of a straight-line wind event day or maybe no severe weather at all, but that's just not the way things look like they're lining up to me for us here. Jessica says, and this is a good piece of advice from Jessica, people with smartphones also download the Tornado app from the Red Cross. They also have a lot of good information on there. Jessica, I have that app on my phone as well. It has a list of locations for shelters as well on there, in addition to the Storm Track weather app, which you can pinch and zoom around on the radar on there and really see which way the storms are going. It actually draws an arrow for you in the way that the storm is going. So very cool for us here. Mike and Adam, you both asked basically what time frame are we looking for storms for today. I hope I already answered that question. 1 to 2 p.m. into the early evening hours, so probably 7, 8 p.m. would be the time frame we'd really, I would have to think the storms would be moving out of the area around that time frame. So again, I'll give you guys another chance. I'm going to refresh this real quick, so if any of you ask some questions, I want to give you guys another chance to it. Carl was asking, Ottawa County, do you think we're going to get hit? Again, it should be a pretty fairly even spread across the viewing area as far as those storms go. So those of you, I know I have a lot of great followers on Facebook and Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I'm telling you, I put a lot of information on there. If you're thinking, no, I can't do another social media thing, I can't do something other than Facebook, Twitter is fantastic. I can get you information very quickly on Twitter. It's a very good source. And again, all you have to do is search Ryan and then that little underscore guy and then Weekman. If you don't know how to spell my name, it's right here if you can read it. If you can't read it right there, just go to the website or look at the Google Plus page right there. Wichman is my last name. Get on there. I'm telling you, we'll get you some good information on there as well. If you're on Facebook, meteorologist Ryan Weekman, that's another great place. I won't post as often when severe weather is happening. It just takes too long, and the way that Facebook logs things in your news feeds, you can get some old information put in there, and I don't think that's a very good way, effective way to do it. I'll put more general information on there, and I'll try to update it as often as I can. But again, Twitter is more of a live, active thing for us. So for those of you that tuned in, we've got a show coming up at 10 o'clock on Fox Toledo. That's why I'm trying to kind of get through this information, but I wanted to get a chance to get on here, answer your questions. I hope that I did that. We got the show on Fox Toledo at 10 o'clock. I'm going to have the latest information there. By 11 o'clock over on WTOL, I'm going to have the very latest model information as well. So if you guys can stay up, 11 o'clock newscast, we should start talking a little bit more. I don't think the forecast is going to change a lot, but we can move a little bit forward as far as confidence goes potentially in what tomorrow looks like, and I'll give you the very latest forecast on there as well. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you're watching live, I appreciate you taking time out of your Saturday night. Hopefully we got you a little bit better informed, and please be sure to share this with your friends and family. If you're watching after the fact, hey, I understand it's a Saturday night, but thank you guys very much for tuning in. Stay safe tomorrow. We're going to be here. We'll have the whole team ready to go if necessary for the severe storms tomorrow. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend.